Walk with Book It.
To Book It, a wrestling podcast where we book and revisit your favorite wrestling storylines. I'm your commissioner, Hi-Fi Mike, and today I have your GMs, Damone, D-Money Allen,
Cereal.
Little Fudge, Double
Damone.
Fudge.
Damone's first delivery of the pre-intro was so much harder than the one you're going to hear, but Mike fucked it up, so fuck him.
Bad Guy Kenny.
What's good, Joe?
And we're here. We're finally at the beginning of BookItVerse 4. This is gonna be crazy because now we've had 3 winners. So, and we no longer have Keith competing in BookItVerse 4. So it's just back down to the 5 of us. So
We got that bum up out of here.
Actually, so the only one that hasn't. I'm still counting Damone as a winner, by the way.
Shut the
because
fuck
we
up,
won
you did
tag
not
team.
win one.
We definitely did.
No, you did not.
We won the weeks
No,
in
you
early
didn't.
BookItVerse because that's
Travis
what we
won.
did 2 out of 3 weeks.
Keith has more wins than Damone. Stop this.
I guess if you're gonna count it like that, then Damone and John are the only ones that haven't won.
And it's going to stay that way.
Possibly.
Well, I don't know, man.
I've heard some of the shit Damone got.
I'm doing some weird shit. So I feel like this is gonna be the weird BookItVerse. If I had to make prediction, this is gonna be the weirdest BookItVerse because I think it's all just balls to the wall and throwing shit together in a good way, like a positive way. So I'm excited to see how BookItVerse 4, the 4th BookItVerse season 4. I'm calling it seasons, by the way, guys.
The Awakening.
And you got to think we also put stipulations on ourselves too. Like we all did something special.
And we have the wheel too.
BookItVerse 4, the wheel of doom, right? Is that
The
what we're
wheel of
calling it?
misfortune,
The wheel of misfortune.
something like that. I don't know.
I like the wheel of
Word
doom because I don't know.
These shows are already like misfortunate. Like, let's be real. Like, this is gonna be some dark times for you listening fans. Like, it's gonna be funny. Like, you gonna be laughing your ass off. But like, it's gonna be
So I have
at
an
us
all-black
and with
brand.
us.
I have an all-black brand. That's gonna be dark times. I see how it is.
Yeah, Kenny's gonna be milking that shit this whole time too. So I guess.
Oh yeah,
It's gonna be like, if I'm not in first place, you're racist.
I was gonna say if this is a low grade, I'm calling you racist. We'll find out low grade.
I mean,
so this was already predetermined.
I'm still gonna. I don't know. I'm sure.
Mike says, "I don't care."
No, I think Kenny's got it this time. I feel like Kenny's gonna bounce back. He's gonna go from worst to mid. At least 3.
I'm getting worse. I'm
yeah,
intentionally
no,
writing the
for
worst
sure.
bullshit you'll ever hear.
I've seen your draft. I've seen your roster. It is awful. I don't even want to borrow anybody from you.
Wait, what do you mean you don't want Brian Sledge from the Bad Guy Podcast?
Well, all right. So Damone, let us know about your show. Tell us everything we need to know.
So the name of my company is Pro Wrestling Renaissance. It's PWR. And the first
fucking Renaissance fair ass show.
Motherfucker, you had a guild.
I was gonna say you had a guild.
Hey, that's equal. That's equal. Like, guilds only exist in the Renaissance, motherfucker. Like, we're on the same boat.
Okay, I want to hear. No, hold on. I want to hear. I hate the name, but I want to hear.
I don't.
So the pay-per-view I'm presenting is Apocalypse Now, so it would be like the equivalent of like a Backlash. The commentary team, you have Joey Styles and Matt Stryker. Okay. And the first show is live from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, because I'm fucking pandering.
This guy stinks.
Yeah, we're all pandering. I've already said it. We're all pandering with.
Everybody's going through fucking Oklahoma City.
I'm gonna go to just places that you guys are not close to in the slightest.
Anchorage, Alaska.
Sold out show in Anchorage, Alaska.
Fucking
Uh,
It
Honolulu.
only holds 12.
So, on the first episode of Sunday Night Gold Rush, which is the weekly,
Well, these
What
are
are
way.
these names?
Hold up.
These are AI generated names.
These
I
are
swear
not-
to God.
Timon got the Renaissance and the Gold Rush. These are hundreds of years apart.
This is.
There's no accuracy. There's no consistency.
There's
I'm disgusted.
I'm expecting everything to be history themed now.
No. Well, actually,
Fucking
there's
ye old WrestleMania.
we'll get to that point. So
historical is racist.
after final judgment, Ray Phoenix has a match against Ricky Steamboat, and he wins with a Phoenix driver. After the match, Phoenix and Ricky shake hands. As he's making his way to the back, Phoenix is attacked from behind by Mil Muertes, who beats him down and then choke slams him off the stage. Father James Mitchell comes out and looks down with Muertes at the damage. The following week, Phoenix is about to be interviewed in the ring when once again Muertes comes out and attacks Phoenix. The two men brawl and Phoenix is holding his own until Mitchell smacks him from behind with his cane, allowing Muertes to get the upper hand and hit a dagger through the heart spear. He then hits a chokeslam onto the ring apron. It cuts to commercial as Mitchell and Muertes stand over Ray's lifeless body. The next week, Phoenix comes out to the ring and says, I have no idea what Mitchell or Muertes' problem with me is, but at this point, it doesn't matter. Come out here and fight. Mitchell and Muertes appear on the big screen. James Mitchell says, Hello, Ray. Let me formally introduce myself. I am Father James Mitchell, and this is the masked monster Mil Muertes. Last week, you experienced just a fraction of what he is capable of. But I know you're wondering why this is all happening. La Profecia. Phoenix in the ring looks concerned. For the uneducated, the Aztecs once prophesied that one day a great warrior would be born who would harness the power of the mask to usher in a new era. El Messias. That man is my monster, Mil Muertes. He will fulfill his destiny by taking every single mask in Lucha Libre, starting with you. The only reason that he hasn't ripped it off your face already is because he needs to extract more suffering upon you to get the maximum amount of power from your mask. But don't worry, you'll get the chance to redeem yourself at Apocalypse Now, because I've already taken the liberty of speaking to General Manager Freddie Blassie. And at Apocalypse Now, it will be Mil Muertes versus Ray Phoenix in a mask versus mask match. The Tron turns off as Ray is left in the ring questioning what he's gotten himself into. So in the go-home show, Mil Muertes dominates a one-on-one match with Fuego del Sol in a 2-minute squash match. Muertes goes to take Fuego's mask off, but Phoenix comes out with a steel chair, hitting multiple shots on Muertes. He then hits a tilt-a-whirl head scissors takedown and signals he's going to go for a destroyer, but Muertes manages to slide out of the ring. Phoenix checks on Fuego as Muertes and Mitchell retreat to the back. So to the match, Ray comes out first wearing crimson and black gear. Mil Muertes comes out wearing black and gold gear with Mitchell joining him at ringside. So I'm just giving you the spots. So Ray starts off hot, throwing hard punches and kicks to the legs, but Muertes seems unfazed. He then runs off the ropes and goes for a jumping cutter, but he gets caught in midair, and Muertes hits an exploder suplex. Muertes hits a running leg drop to the back of Phoenix's head. He continues to work the neck with a swinging neck breaker and goes for a pin, but only gets a 2 count. Muertes hits a trilogy of power bombs for a long 2 count. Muertes does a military gorilla press into a power slam. Phoenix barely kicks out. Muertes goes for another German, but this time Phoenix lands on his feet, hits a spree of punches and kicks. He then hits a missile drop kick that stumbles Muertes, but he stays on his feet. Phoenix then hits a series of super kicks that visibly hurt Muertes. Muertes goes through the middle rope to the outside. Phoenix hits an over-the-top rope moonsault plancha that finally takes Muertes off his feet. Phoenix tries Irish whipping Muertes, but Muertes overpowers him and Irish whips him into the steel steps. Muertes lifts him up and power slams him onto the steel steps. Back in the ring, Muertes Irish whips Phoenix into the corner and hits a big splash, followed by a belly-to-belly splash and goes for the pin. But he only gets a 2 count. Muertes then hits a spinning wheel kick, then a spike DDT followed by a pin attempt, but again, Phoenix manages to kick out. Muertes Irish whips Phoenix and goes for a clothesline, but Phoenix manages to duck under and hits a springboard cutter and goes for the pin. Muertes powers out at 1. Muertes then hits a running drop kick to Phoenix then hits a running drop kick to Muertes' head, followed by a springboard senton bomb. Muertes kicks out. Phoenix hits a destroyer, but again, Muertes powers out. Phoenix then hits a springboard 450. James Mitchell gets on the apron and distracts the referee. Phoenix knocks Mitchell off the apron with a drop kick. When he gets turned around, he gets turned inside out with a dagger through the heart spear and goes for the pin. Phoenix just manages to kick out, shocking Muertes. Muertes mounts Phoenix and lands hard elbows, then goes to the top rope and hits a Messiah splash, then lifts Phoenix up and hits a straight to hell, which is a leaping reverse STO for the 1, 2, 3. He then puts his boot on Phoenix's chest and rips Phoenix's mask off and holds it over his head as him and Phoenix, or as Mitchell, laughs maniacally next to him.
Okay.
And
So I'll start. I'm at a 5. I think the Mask Collector, I think it's a good spin on the title collector thing. So I feel like it's kind of like a legend killer, like title collector thing. I don't know. I like it. I like what you got going on here. It's original. I like the storyline. I like it's a good winner. A great match. Yeah, so it's a 5 for me. I didn't see any problems.
Thank you.
Yeah, I thought that was overall pretty good. I'd say it's not a 5. I think it's lacking that the little bit of chutzpah. I don't know. It's lacking something that, like, it's like I wasn't like I didn't feel like super invested in it, but I liked what I saw, kind of thing. So I'm gonna give this a 4.
Okay, I'll take it.
I'm gonna go with a 5. I really liked it. I agree with everything Kenny said.
Okay, I'll take it. I like it. Good way to start. So I can't wait to fuck it up. I
can't wait for you to fuck it up.
Good. Start off good.
So Styles talks about how that was a hard-hitting match and Rey Fenix, even though he lost his match tonight, has nothing to be ashamed of. He then mentions that tonight we were supposed to get Kenny Omega versus Kota Ibushi, next, but unfortunately, Kenny is currently injured due to Kota's reprehensible actions 2 weeks ago. So then it cuts to a promo package where we see a highlight of Kota and Omega's friendship in their matches in New Japan Pro Wrestling. It then cuts to Omega beating Kota in a matchup on the weekly. After the match, the two hug, and as Kenny is leaving the ring, Kota attacks him from behind and hits a golden star powerbomb onto a steel chair. In the following weeks, Ibushi becomes more and more irrational on Twitter as he starts to retweet posts supporting Japanese imperialism and Pearl Harbor conspiracies.
Hey, that work in was good.
The next week, Omega calls out Kota to find out why he's acting this way. He says that Omega was never his friend and accuses Omega of stealing Japanese culture for financial profit, just like the rest of the West. He says that Japan got screwed after World War II, and every Japanese wrestler has gotten screwed in America. They come to America and get treated like garbage, but now everyone thinks they can just use Japanese culture because of guys like Omega. He says that Omega can learn all the Japanese he wants. He can watch all the anime he wants, or watch anime till his eyes bleed, but he will never be anything but a gaijin. He then tries to attack Omega again, but Omega fights back and hits a one-winged angel. It's announced that Omega versus Kota is scheduled for the pay-per-view, but on the go-home show, there's a contract signing between the two. Omega says that he really did love Kota like a brother, but that Kota recently has changed. Kota says, I don't want to, but if I have to, I'll beat the hell out of you to get you to snap out of it. And then signs the contract. Kota just smiles and signs the contract. He then spits black mist into Omega's face, blinding him, and then hits another Golden Star powerbomb through the announce table. It's announced that the match at the pay-per-view has to be canceled because due to the black mist, Omega is currently blind and not medically cleared to compete. It cuts back to Stryker and Styles. Stryker says that he can't believe that Kota would attack Omega when they were supposed to be best friends. Stryker says that Kota is just defending his culture and that he would not be surprised if Omega is faking it to avoid facing Kota. Styles says that is ridiculous. And then they start talking about moving on to the next match. But that's the end of that segment.
All right, there's a part that I loved and a part that I didn't love. I'm gonna go over it. I loved the work in of the wheel where you Kota booty, not a booty, a Bushi, Kota booty. That's what I'm gonna start calling him. Kota Bushi gets in trouble for the insensitive tweet, and you made it part of his gimmick where he turns into a Japanese nationalist. I like that a lot, and that was like expert level. I don't like that you use the black mist on him because in real life, like they're putting mist on like every Japanese wrestler. It's getting a little overdone, and I feel like he didn't need that fucking mist. He's such a talented wrestler. He don't need a gimmick like that. So that dragged it down for me. Because there's a thing I loved and a thing I hated, I'm gonna put it at mid and give it a 3.
Okay.
Mike, where you at with it?
4.5.
Okay, I'll take it.
I'm at a 3.5. I did like the work in with that as well. I feel like it could have been a little bit more done with it, but it was cool for what it was. So I'm going to 3.5.
Okay. So the next match. So at Final Judgment, which is our version of WrestleMania, just to give context, Sammy Guevara won a 6-man ladder match to retain the Cruiserweight Championship, defeating Mike Quackenbush, Dalton Castle, Ricky Starks, Doug Williams, and Sanjay Dutt for the championship when Paul Heyman appeared and pushed Quackenbush off the ladder, allowing Sammy to win. This extended Sammy's title reign to a year and a half. The week after, Paul Heyman makes his way to the ring alone. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. I am the special advisor for the man who will go down in wrestling history as the most dominant cruiserweight champion of all time, the Spanish God, Sammy Guevara. Sammy's music hits and he walks out to a rain of boos. Paul opens the ropes for Sammy, who is wearing a mink fur coat and sunglasses with the title around his waist. Paul gives Sammy the mic. Oh, what's wrong, everybody? I thought you all loved Paul Heyman, guys. As the crowd boos him excessively. Last night was the culmination of months and months of planning with my new special advisor, Mr. Heyman. You can boo me all you want. There isn't a cruiserweight walking this planet who can stand in this ring with me and walk out victorious. Suddenly, the music of Mike Quackenbush hits, and he makes his way to the ring. Mike says it looks like the champ didn't go back and watch the match from Final Judgment because if it wasn't for his new friend, you wouldn't have that title. You wouldn't have that, and he points to the title. But Sammy, I am not one to make excuses, but let's give these people the match that they all want to see. Me and you tonight for the Cruiserweight Championship. Paul Heyman says that while he and Sammy have a great amount of respect for what Mike did in the independent independent wrestling, they don't do rematches or charity. So if you want a championship match, you're going to need to go to the back of the line, get some wins, and then maybe the Spanish God will grant you the privilege of losing again. Sammy says, you know what, Mikey? You're right. You did almost win the title and fulfill your dreams. But the difference between a guy like me and a guy like you is in that match and in that moment, or is that in that match, that moment was taken from you. Or when it's taken from you, it's devastating. But for me, it's just me winning was just part of my highlight reel. I am him. So, like Paul said, the answer is no. Sammy gets in Mike's face and then holds the title up, smirks. Then he and Paul leave the ring, with Sammy purposely shoulder bumping into Mike. Later in the night, Mike has a match against Christopher Daniels and wins with a Quacken Driver number 3. The following week, Quackenbush has a match against Juice Robinson and wins again with the Quacken Driver number 1. After the match, he says that's number 2, signifying that he's won 2 in a row. And then he does the title belt taunt.
That would have been funny if you won with Quacken Driver number 2.
Later on in the show, Paul is stopped by a backstage interviewer, Maxine Dupree, who asks what his thoughts are on Quackenbush winning another match. Paul says that on behalf of his client, the Spanish God, Sammy Guevara, no comment. He then walks away smiling. It's announced that that week there will be a number 1 contender match to determine who will face Sammy for the title at Apocalypse Now between Mike Quackenbush and Daniel Garcia. So on the Go Home show, Maxine finds Paul again and asks where Sammy is and their thoughts on the number 1 contender match. Paul says that it's not any of your business, but Sammy is on a well-deserved vacation in the Bahamas with his wife right now. In regards to the 2 challengers facing off tonight, I have been authorized to give this disclaimer. Win tonight at your own peril, because it doesn't matter if it's Mikey or if it's Daniel Garcia who pulls off the win. Sammy is walking in as champion and he's walking out as champion. And that's not a prediction, it's a spoiler. Later that night, Quackenbush again wins a hard-fought match, this time with Quacken Driver number 3, to become the new number 1 contender. After the match, Sammy appears on the Tron in a jacuzzi with Tay drinking wine and eating grapes. Congratulations, Mikey. You did it. You did what you set out for, and you accomplished your goal of becoming the next man to fall short of the throne that I occupy. And I have zero intentions of ever giving up my Cruiserweight Championship. I am living my best life right now, and I refuse to let a man who dresses like a 1990s tween end that. Mikey says, that's real cute, grabs the mic and says, that's real cute. I guess part of becoming a Paul Heyman guy is becoming a part-time talent. But I won't let you hold that title or this division hostage like a Brock or a Roman. I will beat you, and just like I showed the last few weeks, I will be a fighting champion. And Sammy, that isn't a prediction. It's a spoiler. He then drops the mic and it fades to a commercial. So for the match itself, again, this spot. So Sammy backs Quackenbush into the corner and appears to give a clean break, but then bitch slaps Quackenbush and spits his gum into Mike's face. Sammy hits a back suplex, followed by a standing shooting star press. Quackenbush kicks out at 2. Sammy immediately sits Quackenbush and hits a basement drop kick. Sammy tries for a suplex, but Mike counters it into in a Zuma suplex special, which is a vertical suplex followed by a brainbuster. Sammy kicks out at 2. Quackenbush hits a chain reaction, which is a triple jump moonsault. Sammy kicks out at 2. Quackenbush immediately transitions into a lightning lock beta. Sammy barely manages to make it to the bottom rope to break the hold. That's like a crossface. Quackenbush goes for the tail of the dragon, which is a springboard tornado DDT, but Sammy manages to hit a missile drop kick, kicking him out of midair. Sammy then hits a springboard cutter for a long 2. Quackenbush rolls to the outside. Sammy hits a corkscrew moonsault plancha to the outside. He rolls Quackenbush into the ring, but Mike kicks out. Sammy goes to the top rope and he hits a 630 splash. Quackenbush manages to get his foot on the bottom rope. Sammy goes for the GTH, but Mike manages to escape, hit a super kick, and hits a Deja Vu DDT, which is a Tilt-A-Whirl DDT. Mike then hits a Tail of the Dragon and goes for the pin, but Paul Heyman distracts the referee long enough for Sammy to recover and kick out. Mike hits a high angle senton bomb, but almost gets caught with a cradle pin by Sammy. So like he hits a swanton and then Sammy immediately like hooks the arms and like almost steals the pin. Mike then hits a low super kick. He then hits a black tornado slam, but Sammy manages to kick out. Mike goes for the Quacken driver, but Sammy manages to counter it and hit a poison rana. He then Irish whips Mike into the corner, puts him on the top rope, and hits the Spanish fly, but hurts himself in the process, and Mike manages to kick out. So to the finish. The finish comes with both men on their knees throwing hard punches and elbows back and forth. Mike gets the upper hand and manages to hit a Quacken driver number 2, but again, Paul Heyman distracts the referee. Mike gets up and starts arguing with Paul Heyman. While the ref is distracted, Sammy low blows Mike and hits the GTH for the pin and the win. The winner and still PWR Cruiserweight Champion, the Spanish God, Sammy Guevara.
All right. So first thing I'm going to say is that this is realistic. And I say it's realistic because Sammy Guevara and Mike Quackenbush cut some corny-ass promos.
Yeah.
So it's at least realistic. That's what they would probably act like. That's probably what they'd actually sound like for worse than better. But I'd say this match would be like fucking nutty. And that puts it at like a floor of a 3. Just because like the match alone automatically would give it $3. However, like the character matchup is pretty gross, and I actually hate Paul Heyman, guys. So like I hate that shtick. I'm tired of it. However, it was right to have Sammy retain. I feel like you're gonna make him have a long run because I know you. I'm gonna give this $3.75.
Okay.
I thought it was. I'll be honest. You lost me on this one. I wanted to like it because I wanted to like Sammy, but you lost me. I tried to catch back up, and you lost me. I would have turned this off, and I would have done something else for a little bit.
What would you have done, Mike?
Would you have gone?
I would have went out. I would have picked up a Hibachi Express. That shit is fire. And I would have come home. I would have opened it up, realized I forgot my sauce, went back, came home, and hoped that the match was just ending.
Mike does. Do you know this motherfucker?
Because I don't check the bag.
I never be checking my fucking baggie.
Right. So I'm gonna go with a 2.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm more in the middle. I think just like how John said, the match carried this like 100%. Yeah. That's where I'm at. Like, I don't like Paul Heyman being with Sammy, but I do like Sammy being the chicken shit heel. While Mike Quackenbush is trying to be like, hey, I'm doing this for the people, that kind of thing. So I'm at a solid 3. I think it balances out to be a solid 3. I think it was, like promo was like, yeah, very cringy, but yeah, the actual match is what saved it.
That was so fucking realistic because that's exactly how that motherfuckers sound. Like,
well,
at least you didn't have Sammy Guevara holding up a sign to say his promo.
I've never heard. Look. I was the main one talking about how good Mike Quackenbush is in ring. I've never heard that man talk ever in life.
There's a fucking reason.
Yeah, I've only seen him wrestle. I've never seen him.
I think there's a reason why he never got past a certain level. It's not just his size.
It was them vinyl pants too.
And the name, like the fact that that's not his actual name, that he picked that name.
I don't know. I
is
feel like that could have
wild.
caught on in some like comedy capacity, but there was other factors. So, like,
Yeah. Okay, so 2 weeks after 2 weeks after Final Judgment, Abraham Lincoln has a back and forth one-on-one match with Kevin Thorne and manages to win with a chokeslam. After the match, Thorne attacks Lincoln from behind as he's leaving the ring. Lincoln manages to fight back and looks to have the upper hand when the lights go out. When they turn back on, Lincoln is surrounded by Kevin Thorne, Vampiro, Edge, and Christian, collectively known as part of Bloodlust. They attack Lincoln, who tries to fight back, but he's overwhelmed and they beat him down. We then hear Gangrel's music, the Brood music, of course. And he rises from the ashes and he makes his way to the ring. He tells Bloodlust to stop attacking and then grabs a busted open Lincoln by the head, licks the blood, and then hits an impaler DDT on a chair that leaves Lincoln in a pool of his own blood. The following week, Lincoln comes out with a bandage on his head. I don't have a Lincoln fucking voice. I've been thinking about this all week, and I'm like, I don't know what fucking Abraham Lincoln.
he has
sounds
like a kind of like he has kind of a from what's been described, like kind of like a
Full score and
No,
7
it's like a
years
little
ago.
shrill, though. It's like a little high and
Full
shrill.
score and 7
like that.
years
I
ago.
don't know.
You made it sound like Mr. Hanky.
You sound like the fucking gingerbread man from Shrek.
I'm gonna get rid of slavery.
Not the gumdrop buttons.
What are you doing behind me with that gun?
You said, I'm going to get rid of slavery. That is wild. That voice is wild.
Ladies and gentlemen, I come to you tonight, not as a former president of these United States of America.
Wait a minute, you turned into a monster. I wasn't ready for that.
But I'm just gonna fucking read it.
No, go back to that.
No,
I like that. Continue.
Yeah,
Don't let Kenny ruin this.
I come to you tonight not as a former president of these here United States of America, but as a man who last week was a victim of a heinous attack by a group of cowards. Bloodlust, for too long you have run rampant in PWR. I can no longer stand idly by and allow this to happen. I hereby challenge Gangrel to a match at Apocalypse Now to end this reign of terror once
Are
and
you
for
really
all.
doing Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter right now?
Yes.
And again, bring hope and justice to the pro wrestling
I hate you
renaissance.
so much.
Delicious. Finally, some good fucking food.
He's taking out. Is he going to take out every vampire in the brand, or is he doing one by one, or is he going to fight them all right now?
One by one.
Okay, I like this.
Yeah. Bloodlust appeared to end this reign of terror and once again bring hope and justice to pro wrestling renaissance. Bloodlust then appears on the Tron from their lair, which is like a cave. Gangrel is sitting on the throne made with bones. You know what I find hilarious, Mr. President? That there are people out there who truly believe you are honest and truthful, but we both know that's far from true. You've been keeping a dirty little secret, haven't you, Abe? But don't worry, I won't expose you yet. As for your challenge, I unfortunately must say I currently have no interest in facing you. But I know someone who is chopping at the bit to get revenge. We then see Kevin Thorne and Ariel come out of the shadows. Kevin says, Abraham, you got lucky last time we faced each other, but that won't happen next time. Me and you at Apocalypse Now. But this time, under first blood rules. Lincoln then says, a house divided cannot stand, and I shall divide and conquer. Kevin, I accept.
I like this. You got Abraham Lincoln fighting Gangrel in a first blood match. I'm liking this.
Kevin Thorne. He's fighting Thorne first.
Or Kevin Thorne, my fault.
Yeah. The following week, Lincoln is scheduled to have a match against the Great Muta, but before the match can start, the lights go out, and when they come back on, Lincoln is covered in blood from a bloodbath. Thorne attacks him from behind, then gets Lincoln into the corner and hits Original Sin. He then tells Ariel to grab something. Ariel grabs a spike from a bag and hands it to Thorne. Thorne tries to stab Lincoln in the forehead with it to bust Lincoln open, but Lincoln manages to fight him off and clothesline him out of the ring. Ariel and Thorne back up the ramp as Lincoln holds the spike and points into Thorne as the segment ends. So to the match itself, so Thorne and Ariel come out in red and black gear. Lincoln comes out in all black pants with his hands taped, and of course his signature top hat. So the spots. Thorne backs Lincoln into the corner and lands several punches, slaps and elbows to Lincoln, followed by a big boot in the corner. Thorne Irish whips Lincoln, then hits a flapjack, turns Lincoln around and mounts him. He lands hard elbows. He then yells at the referee to check
him.
But Lincoln isn't bleeding. Thorne locks in a sleeper hold, but Lincoln manages to hit a jawbreaker to escape. Lincoln then hits a leaping leg drop. Lincoln hits a swinging neck breaker, followed by a fist drop from the top rope. He then goes to the outside and grabs a steel chair. When Thorne makes it to his feet, Lincoln smashes it into his face. Thorne goes down, but isn't busted open. Lincoln goes to use the chair again, but Thorne avoids it and hits a choke slam. He then wedges the chair into the corner and Irish whips Lincoln face first into it. The rest checks Lincoln, and he's hurt, but he's not bleeding. Thorne goes for original sin, which is like the razor's edge, but Lincoln manages to escape and hits a flying elbow. Thorne rolls to the outside, but Lincoln hits a Tobe con hilo on the outside. Lincoln rolls Thorne into the ring, grabs the steel chair, and waits for Thorne to get up. He throws the chair at Thorne, who catches it, and then he hits a Lincolnator. Thorne is Thorne is
The dominator.
It's like called it the Lincoln log.
I didn't think of that. I'm retroactively calling it the Lincoln log. It's like the Van Dominator.
I want some credit for that.
You can have credit for calling it the Lincoln log.
Bet.
Thorne is busted open. The referee calls for
I
the
liked
bell.
the Lincolnator.
As Lincoln is celebrating, Thorne attacks Lincoln from behind and starts beating down Lincoln. He tells Ariel to grab the spike. She does and hands it to Lincoln, or to Thorne. Thorne waits for Lincoln to stand up and goes to hit him with it, but Lincoln ducks under and hits a John Wilkes boot, laying out Thorne. Lincoln celebrates in the crowd as the rest of Bloodlust come out to check on Thorne, who is a bloody mess.
I made it back just in time with my hibachi.
Bruh.
Put me down for 5.
Is that the end?
This is the best match in BookItVerse.
I was gonna say, honestly, this is probably my favorite storyline in BookItVerse history. I'm not gonna lie to you.
This is the most fun story in BookItVerse.
I'm not gonna lie, I had a lot of fun writing it. It's so dumb.
John's gonna hate it because America.
No,
I wanted to
5
because like when you first announced it, like I was already liking it. I was like, okay, Lincoln the Vampire Hunter, that's what's up. Then he like Lincoln the Vampire Slayer, that's lit already. Then you got him going up against each like vampire, and I'm like, I'm fucking with this. Then you had in the first blood match. I said, damn, I've already had a 5. Then you did that. Then you had
5.5. We got a 5.5, right?
The Lincoln,
Yeah, you can.
I was leading up to it.
There's a 5.5.
I'd explain
Damn,
why
y'all blowing yours right away. Damn.
I'm
That's
giving it.
This is the
Giving
best.
us 5.5
This is
already?
the best
Yeah.
match in BookItVerse.
I'm giving
Damn,
you a
Devon
5.
got 2 550s.
I'm giving you a 5.
I'm only giving you a regular 5. Fuck it.
You didn't even finish
take
it.
it.
I don't even
I'll
think
take
you
it.
finished.
No, when he
But-
got to the first blood, I was already at 5, and then
5.5. This is
I was like,
5.5. This is the
the
most
match
fun
got-
I've had listening to a BookItVerse. This
yeah,
the only thing better. Second. This is first. My doink shit is second. This is
What's his
Plug his
own
own
shit?
he just plugged his own stuff.
yeah.
Shut the fuck up, Mike.
Go. This is the best. This is the most fun match in BookItVerse.
Thank you. It was
Oh, yeah.
super fun to write.
Just
It's
wait
so
till
dumb.
just wait till the Blowbot wrestles on my show.
Because honestly, I thought about getting Lincoln, but I wouldn't have thought about this.
No, it's like a reference to a niche ass comedy movie in like 2012. Like it's so funny.
Yeah, and like I looked up, Lincoln was 6'4", like 185 pounds. So like I tried to get like he could probably do like a lot of like crazy shit because he was tall and lanky, and like I also saw an article If you Google just 6'4", 180-pound wrestler, shit about Lincoln starts coming up. One of the articles said he was the John Cena of his time, which is crazy.
Listen, if we didn't have 100-point game for Will Chamberlain recorded, I don't believe that he was putting on 5-star matches. I'm not going to do this.
Link was put up 5-star matches. He was doing catch can, man.
Look, if we ain't going to acknowledge Will Chamberlain, I'm not going to acknowledge Abraham Lincoln.
I want to see. That's how he became a good speech writer, right? Is cutting those promos.
Yeah, I forgot what he said. Like it was like, if you want to come at me, come in. Something about your horns. I forgot exactly what the quote was. It was something
like
really
that's a
wild.
real promo he cut.
It was a real quote. Hold on, let me look real quick.
So he was it a professional wrestler or was he an amateur wrestler?
No, he was
like collegiate.
No, he was. I think he was doing like the show, like
this catch can.
He said, if anybody want to come try it, come on and wet your horns.
That's what it was.
Come on and wet your horns. He basically said nothing. He said, if you don't want none.
I wish he would have.
Want some? Come get some.
His speeches were promos.
He said, I'm the big buck of this lick. If any of you want to try it, come on and wet your horns. Yeah, he was talking that shit.
He's like, 4 score and suck my dick.
And then stake the vampire.
So to the next, it's a segment. So we see a very old house in the middle of the woods. The camera slowly pans down and into the house. We then see a platinum blonde woman sitting in a chair, like an old chair. We then realize that it's Scarlett Bordeaux, the new women's champion. I proved at Final Judgment that the entire women's division is beneath me. Every one of you assumed that China would run right through me. But as always, you were all wrong. And then we start to see like flashbacks of Scarlett beating China by roll-up with her feet on the ropes. Now, as I have predicted, I have taken my rightful place. And then, like, you see a compilation of some of her matches. She then grabs her hand mirror and says, "Mirror, mirror, who's the greatest woman of them all?" We then see her like suddenly stand up and yell at the mirror, she yelled at the mirror, "What do you mean it's not me? I said, mirror, mirror, who is the greatest woman of them all?" We then see her throw the mirror to the ground and stomp on it, and then rush out of the house, grabbing her like a trench coat and leaving the house in a rush. The camera then pans down to the broken mirror, and we see a broken picture of Jordan Grace.
You went from
I was able to get that 0. That's 5.5.
the best.
Wait.
You went to from the best match in BookItVerse history to this.
That's the Damone special.
This was your follow-up.
Yo, this is my follow-up. The Wicked Witch of
Damone the Anthony Davis.
I'll be honest, but that wasn't even she wasn't even a Wicked Witch. You had her as the wicked stepmom.
Damone really is Anthony Davis. Good ones, thinker, good ones.
But also she wasn't looking at a mirror, she's looking at a picture. I hate it.
Like the mirror turns and it's like a magic mirror that turns.
That's
fucking Lord Farquaad ass.
1.
Shit.
This is a 1. This is a 1. I'm sorry, Damone. I did not like this.
This is giving me a little bit of like.
I get what you were going for, but it was not good.
This gives me Travis's Sarah Del Rey vibe a little bit, and not for the better.
Why? She's not like doing like a king or queen gimmick.
I know. It's like, I don't know. Like it feels like the desperate for validation kind of thing. It's like a similar in execution.
Did her music hit too?
No.
when it came
No.
Yeah, it's gonna be low
Got
for
Maleficent
me too.
over here.
I'm giving this a 1.5. This is nasty.
Okay.
Shit. Damn, I would have took. I was so ready for something good to come right after that.
If you don't have her start throwing apples at people saying they're poison apples, I don't know what we're doing here.
Oh
You gotta
man,
wait till next show to see what I do.
just gonna be like 3, pick number 3, my lord. Yeah, I'm going with the 1.25. I'm going with the 2.25 because it made me laugh.
Thank you, I'll take it. Take anything I can get. So Umaga has been running roughshod over 305 Live. He has defeated everyone.
He's on the scale like, what? What do you mean he's fatter than me?
He's got like the opposite of crashes.
Yeah,
crashes.
He has defeated everyone who has been put in front of him on his with his most recent victory being over Brock Lesnar at Final Judgment. Umaga and Armando Alejandro Estrada come to the ring. My name is Armando Alejandro Estrada, and this is my Samoan bulldozer and the 305 Live champion Umaga. 305 Live. There is no man over 305 pounds walking God's green earth who can go toe to toe with my bulldozer. The beast incarnate found that out when Umaga left him laying. But my bulldozer wants more victims, so I demand that someone in the back come out here right now and accept Umaga's open challenge.
Is this allowed? Are we allowed to do this? Is this accent? What is?
Yeah, Armando Alejandro Estrada had a.
He's not even Cuban, whatever he was.
I thought he was doing Umaga.
I was doing
I was like, I didn't know who talked like that.
Yeah, he was doing his original manager.
Wasn't Armando black in real life? Some shit like that.
I don't fucking know. I don't think he was actually like some Cuban or whatever he was supposed to be.
I thought you were doing like Hawaiian, like Pacific Islander accent. That's what it sounded like. So yeah, you're off.
Yeah,
roll your R's more.
I can't roll my R's. I can barely say my R's. I went to speech for a reason.
Me too.
The lights dim for a moment and we hear, well, it's the big show. And on the Tron, it says Indies Big Show. Out comes the big show. I
demand my fucking rights.
Respect?
Not only my respect, but I want some payment too.
Hey, I liked Indy. I fucked with Indies Big Show on your show. So
I'm mad y'all call him Indies Big Show. He's not just the Indies Big Show. Why is his name Indies Big Show?
Indies Big Show. Out comes
Indiana
the Big Show.
Big Show that
it's like when they did Brood Edge at fucking WrestleMania.
Yeah. Out comes the Big Show making his 305 Live debut. Big Show climbs into the ring and stands over Umaga, who looks ready to fight. Armando grabs Umaga and has him leave the ring. As they make their way up the ramp, we hear Armando tell Umaga, not tonight. Big Show does like the chokeslam taunt as the fans chant his name. Styles and Stryker mentioned that Big Show was the hottest free agent in professional wrestling. Later, Maxine stops Armando and asks why he stopped Umaga from facing Big Show tonight. Armando says that they weren't prepared for Big Show, and he wasn't going to have Big Show win the title off of a fluke surprise victory. He says that Umaga is the champion, not Big Show. He doesn't care what Big Show has done in the Indies. 305 Live is our show. He will get his shot on our time, not his. The following week, Big Show has his debut match against Haku. Midway through the match, Umaga and Armando make their way to the ring or to ringside and sit at commentary. Joey Styles asks Armando why Umaga is avoiding facing the Big Show. Armando says that Umaga avoids no one, and when he faces the Big Show, he will destroy him and send him back to the Indies to make $20 a match. Big Show wins the match against Haku after a nuclear bomb, which is a swanton bomb. Umaga gets in the ring and attacks Big Show and hits the Samoan spike. Armando says that at Apocalypse Now, your short time on 305 Live comes to a violent end, then throws the mic down. So to the match itself. So before the match starts, we see the ring crew start to reinforce the ring. So we got big boys. Big boys. So Big Show comes out firing with a drop kick followed by a sling blade. He kips up and then hits a big splash. Umaga powers out at one. Big Show Irish whips Umaga into the corner and goes for a splash, but Umaga moves out of the way. Big Show goes chest first into the turnbuckle. Umaga lands a savant kick followed by a running diving headbutt. Umaga Irish whips Big Show, then hits a Samoan drop for a 2 count. Umaga goes to the top rope for a diving headbutt, but Big Show manages to get up and meet Umaga on the top rope, and he hits a super Spanish fly. Both men are laid out. Big Show manages to get one arm on Umaga, and the ref gets a long 2 count, but Umaga just barely kicks out. Big Show waits for Umaga to get up and hits a spear. He then signals for the WMD, but Umaga avoids it, hits a spinning wheel kick for a 2 count. Umaga Irish whips Big Show into the corner, hits a big splash, then when Big Show falls down into a seated position in the corner, he hits a Samoan wrecking ball as Armando celebrates. Umaga grabs Big Show and hits a Samoan spike and goes for the cover, but Big Show manages to power out it too. Umaga and Armando can't believe it. Umaga signals that he's going for a second spike, but this time Big Show catches his hand, stands up, and hits a huge choke slam. He goes for the cover, 1, 2, but Armando pulls the ref out of the ring. Armando starts talking to the ref, like arguing with the ref, but Big Show slides out of the ring and hits Armando with the WMD, laying him out. Show gets back into the ring, and as Umaga gets up, he hits him with the WMD as well, climbs to the top rope, and hits the world's biggest moonsault for the pin and the win. Your winner and new 305 Live champion, the Indies Big Show.
I fucking hate that.
I like that.
By the way, John, I don't know if you caught the moment I was saying I would need your back on was the Spanish fly.
Oh yeah, I have your back fully. You can make that motherfucker do 450 shooting stars. I don't care. Everybody tried to like logistics police me with Indy's Big Show. I don't give a fuck. So I like this a lot. I think this is a good first matchup for 305 Live. Indy's Big Show, perfect champion for it. You're getting $5.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, I'm not gonna. You say you give it 5?
Yeah.
Oof. I will. Yeah, I'm definitely different on this one. So he's done a moonsault before, so you're not getting. I'm not gonna get on you for that. So it makes because he has to do a moonsault for the Spanish fly to work. Now,
You just hate the term Indies Big Show.
I hate the fact his name is Indies Big Show. This is like that freaking Rollins. Like I hate this. Like I hate that name. And for this one, it's like you're not in the Indies anymore. Why your name Indies Big Show?
I would say this show's an
normal Big Show.
I would say this show's an indie, but it's probably gonna average like fucking 45 million viewers at this point. So
yeah, I was on the opposite side of John. I was at a 1.5. I didn't like it either. I didn't like it.
Balance is all things should be.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I felt bad too for that, but yeah, I didn't
okay.
Like it.
Yeah,
I mean, and there really was no like promos for it. Was just like, it was just like, well, I'm fat, you're fat, let's do this.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like 205 Live, no promo. It's just you're small, I'm small, let's do this.
Yeah. But the match didn't save me. It wasn't like that shit was gross. Yeah, it's at 1.5 for me.
Mike,
where you at?
Yeah, I was indifferent on it. Honestly, it was just mid. I'm gonna go with the 2.5.
Okay. The image of Big Show and Umaga doing a Spanish fly is insane.
It's nasty.
It is nasty.
That's where your 1.5 came from. Was that?
So Miro has been on a bit of a losing streak, including losing clean to Nick Aldis at Final Judgment. Miro, who is a former PWR world champion, he then loses again to Aldis on the following week on Gold Rush. After the match, Miro starts to lose it and starts screaming to his god that you've abandoned me. The lights dim and we hear one strum of a guitar. The Church of Elias, which consists of Julia Hart, Camille, and Joey Styles, come out. Joe Gacy.
I'm about to say, sorry.
Joe Gacy.
He's doing
is what I meant.
commentary and in a cult.
No, I meant Joe Gacy. Sorry. Joe Gacy has the mic. Miro, we've been watching you very closely. We see that you've hit rock bottom and are in desperate need of guidance. In his ever knowing wisdom and kindness, Elias has seen fit to allow me to offer you membership into our church. All you must do is kneel, and Elias will make you great again. Miro grabs a mic and says he'll never kneel to another man, so no, and then shoves Gacy to the ground. Gacy says, you will join us, and you will become our redeemer, one way or another, Miro. You cannot escape Elias's love. The following
great.
week, the following week, Elias has a match against Joe Gacy and is about to lock in the accolade when the lights start flashing. Then we hear a guitar strum. Suddenly, Gacy sits up and is oozing a black liquid. Miro hits him with strikes and a super kick, but Gacy no-sells them, which is shocking to Miro. Miro goes for another kick, but Gacy catches his foot, spins him, and then hits a Uranagi. He then hits the everything goes black handspring clothesline for the pin and the win. The lights go out, and when they turn back on, Elias is in the ring holding Miro, and he hits Drift away. The lights go out, and the only one left in the ring is Miro, who has to be helped to the back. It's announced on Twitter that it will be Miro versus Elias at Apocalypse Now. On the go home show, the Church of Elias comes out to the ring. Miro, Elias? This is Elias talking. Miro, why are you resisting my love? I see what you have become compared to what you once were, and it makes me sick to my stomach. But I can help you just like I helped Joe, just like I helped Julia, and how I helped Camille. I can help you reach new heights. I can be your new god, Miro. And I promise I won't abandon you. I didn't want to hurt you last week, but you made me do it. But my child, pain's not bad. It's good. It teaches you things. I understand that. And at Apocalypse Now, I will teach you that very lesson. You will walk with Elias, or you will never walk again. Miro's music hits, and he comes running down and goes after Elias, but he's attacked by Gacy, Julia, and Camille as Elias manages to escape. Miro manages to fight back, and he clotheslines Gacy and Camille out of the ring, leaving Julia alone in the ring. He then body slams her and then locks in the accolade as the church looks on. So the match itself, Miro comes out alone, but Elias comes out flocked by the rest of the church of Elias. The match starts with both men locking up. Miro manages to overpower Elias and throws him to the ground. They lock up again, but this time Elias knees Miro in the stomach, Irish whips him, and then clotheslines him. Elias has Miro trapped in the corner and lands a series of stomps followed by a drive-by kick. Elias begins to work the back of Miro, hitting a back breaker, elbow, and then an elbow drop to the back, and then locking in a Boston Crab. Miro manages to make it to the bottom rope. Elias goes to lock in the Boston Crab again, but Miro kicks him away. And when Elias comes running back at him, hits a power slam for a 2 count. Miro hits a fall-away slam followed by a pin attempt. Again, Elias kicks out at 2. When Elias gets up, he gets hit with a Samoan drop. Miro then signals he's going for the accolade, but Joe Gacy drags Elias out of the ring. Miro goes chasing after Joe Gacy on the outside, but Julia Hart steps in the way. In the ring, Elias gets up and distracts the referee as Camille comes from behind and lays out Miro with an elbow to the back of the head, then throws him into the ring steps. Elias rolls to the outside and Irish whips Miro hard into the barricade. Back in the ring, Elias locks in a reverse chinlock. Miro manages to power out and then hits a Machka kick out of nowhere and goes for the pin. Elias manages to kick out. Miro signals he's going to go for the accolade again, but this time Camille gets on the apron and distracts Miro and the ref. As the ref tries to get her down, Joe Gacy tries to attack Miro. But Miro manages to avoid it, and Masha kicks him Then Masha kicks Camille off the apron and the crowd goes crazy. But when he turns around, Elias kicks him in the gut and manages to hit Drift away for the 1, 2, 3. After the match, Elias and his church stand together as Miro makes his way to his feet. Miro gets into Elias's face as if he's ready to fight. The church is ready to lay him out again, but Elias tells him to hold back, tells him to stop. Miro puts his head down and he's dejected at another loss. He then drops to his knees at Elias's feet. Elias looks up to the heavens and then tells Miro to stand now, my child, for you shall now be my redeemer. And the two hug as the segment ends.
They should have made up.
That's post credits.
I'm gonna start off, and I'm gonna start off hating. I actually ain't feeling this gimmick. I feel like you took away a lot of like what made the Elias gimmick so fun, and you kind of Bray Wyatted him a little bit, like with the whole like dark thing, and maybe it's because like I'm a little burnt out on the dark gimmicks because Bray Wyatt's been so stinky lately. I don't know, but I'm not feeling it. I don't know. Like I like a little bit of goofy with Elias, and I feel like you just made him like dark, edgy, a little bit sacrilegious. Like he's just dark to be dark. However,
I was going more for like a Charles Manson.
Yes, I was gonna say this is Elias is Charles Manson. He plays guitar and he's a cult leader. The difference is he's not riding dune buggies and trying to have sex with girls in the desert. He did around a bunch of big meaty men.
He did say, "Take my love,"
slapping meat.
You're gonna like it, and it's rough, whatever, something like that. I don't know. He was
but
my love.
But Charles Manson, all Charles Manson wanted to do was ride dune buggies
and fuck women,
and fuck women in the desert. That's all he wanted to do. It got away from him. Apparently, Tex. This is not this podcast, but Tex apparently has a cult in jail.
Well, I mean, he is in.
He was the devious
right now.
one.
It's hot, so
he was the devious one. So Damone, if you don't have, you got to have a Tex in this, and you got to make Elias crazier. Like, yeah.
But I'm not feeling this gimmick. And also a match between Elias and Miro would be boring as fuck. Like that would be a boring ass match. I'm sorry. But I do like that Miro joins him after the loss. I think that's good. So that redeems it a little bit. Pun intended. I'm gonna give this a 2. I'm not liking it.
Okay.
That's honestly where I'm at too. I'm at it 2 as well. I did like the walk with Elias or not walk again. I did like that line, but
okay.
I could see the vision, but I don't think it's quite there.
Okay.
He's not. I see you're trying to go for Charles Manson, but Charles Manson was I mean, he was charismatic, but he was also like he was accidental. Like he just wanted to ride dune buggies and have.
I did literally.
One
quote I did literally steal from Charles Manson.
Yeah.
I
figured you were trying to do a Charles Manson thing. I was like, it adds up. I was like, it adds up. I see it. I see the vision, but it wasn't there for me yet. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 3.
Okay.
I wasn't thinking. I was not thinking about Charles Manson, but yeah, I feel the same way though about that being burnt out by the dark gimmicks too.
Okay.
I mean, I'm doing Halloween themed all year, so
get used to the dark gimmicks.
Get used to the dark.
So you can get used to the dark.
I mean, it is May, so we are gearing up for Halloween time. So
it's May.
Yeah, August, September. You got 5 months until fucking Halloween, man. That is close. Before we know it, it's gonna be 4th of July. 4th of July, it goes right. It becomes August, and the kids start going back to school.
A little bit.
kids start going back to school, and then the leaves start changing, and then it starts getting colder, and it starts getting
Tell us how
shitty.
seasons work.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm saying it's
he's
before we know it.
mansplaining
We're getting closer to the starting all over again, and I hate it.
Are you mansplaining seasons to me? Is
Not
that what you're doing?
mansplaining it. I'll tell you off air how I'm explaining it.
I'm just messing with you.
We have a
You just
little
assume my
segment.
season? I'm sorry.
So we cut to Freddie Blassie, who's the general manager, with a special announcement. Listen here, you pencil neck geeks. As many of you are aware, that's what he used to say all the time. Psychosis, who is 1/3 of the current PWR Trios champion, Lucha Madness, had an inappropriate video leak on the internet this week. Due to violating his PWR contract, he has been fired. We have a zero tolerance policy when it comes to that kind of content. As a result, Lucha Madness has been stripped of the Trios title. As a result, there will be a tournament to crown new champions at the Great War, and I am proud to announce the first entrance and #1 seed. And then we see La Resistance walk into his office. And then Styles and Matt Striker hype up the announcement, how like it's sad that Psychosis is gone, but they're excited to have a trios tournament.
Good riddance.
So
can you repeat that last bit?
So there will be a tournament to crown new champions at the Great War, and I'm proud to announce the first entrance in #1 seed La Resistance.
Oh, all right. More tournaments.
Nothing really happened.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of like.
I'm gonna give this a Travis mid of a 2.5.
I'm at my mid's a 3, so I'm going with a 3.
Now that we do zeros, mid is 2.5.
Okay, but that's only once.
I get it. It's all that matters. As long as
Zero,
zero's on the board, 2.5 is my mid.
Ugh.
Once my zero's off the board,
Oh, that's wild.
then my mid changes back
So
to
somebody
3.
hurry up and get a 0.
Don't worry, next week I got you covered.
Is that what you're
it
giving
once
it?
per BookItVerse?
It's once per BookItVerse. You can give a 0. Once you use it, you lose it. Like you gave your 5.5.
Oh, I gave my 5.5.
You can't give your 5.5 to anybody else.
And I stand on it. I'm for Vampire the Buffy.
No, I'm giving mine to Kenny's show to prove that I'm for the culture.
First one, 5.5.
Now that's just pandering.
He can't call me racist anymore.
No, now it's like Bill Clinton racist.
So to the main event. The Pirate King Paul Burchill became the PWR World Champion and turned the tables after winning the King of the Ring and then dubbed himself the Pirate King. He then retained the title at Final Judgment by defeating Batista with walking the plank, which is a standing Spanish fly in the main event. In the main event of the following week's Gold Rush, Gunther won the Gift of the Gods Battle Royal, eliminating Jake the Snake to become the new #1 contender for the title. That following week, Paul Burchill comes out to the ring to celebrate retaining his title with like the rings all like decked out with like sand and like pirate ship shit, pirate shit. Ahoy, mateys! Your Pirate King is here, and still your world champion. Immediately, Gunther and the rest of Imperium come out. Ludwig Kaiser has the mic. Look at you. You are a joke. You come out here dressed like
Pirates
Jack
of the Caribbean.
Sparrow. You come out here and dress like Jack Sparrow, and you bring shame to this great sport. This is why Gunther will defeat you and bring respect back to the PWR World title. Gunther will make you and these people understand that the mat is sacred, and it will be a painful lesson. Paul says, Why are you so angry all the time? Yelling about the mat being sacred and the rules of wrestling. Yes, I like to have some fun, have a good time, but I do respect this business. I just don't respect you. And he like pokes Gunther in the chest. Gunther then chops
I don't even know who this
Virgil.
is anymore.
It's called Virgil. He had a pirate gimmick in WWE.
That shit
Uh,
wasn't lit though. The
Yeah,
part-
I don't know who that
SmackDown vs.
is.
Raw 2007. It was fire.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Gunther then chops Virgil and Imperium start to beat him down. Virgil gets knocked out of the ring as Imperium taunts him. Gunther tells Ludwig and Giovanni to go get Virgil, but when they go out to the ring, Virgil grabs his cutlass, and he slashes at them. They back off along with Gunther, leaving the ring as Virgil makes his way into the ring and he holds the title over his head. The following week, Virgil versus Kaiser is the main event match. Virgil has the match under control when the ref gets knocked down. Gunther and Giovanni get in the ring. Virgil fights off Giovanni, but turns around into a massive chop, then powerbombed by Gunther. Gunther puts Ludwig on top of Virgil and the ref counts to 3. After the match, Gunther hits another powerbomb, then chokes out Virgil and stands tall with Imperium and grabs the world title. So on the Go Home show, Freddie Blassie tells Burchill to pick 2 partners to team with him against Imperium. Burchill chooses the British Invasion, which is Nick Aldis and Doug Williams. The match is back and forth. It's back and forth 6-man tag, but eventually becomes an all-out brawl with British Invasion and Kaiser and Vinci ending up laid out at ringside. While the ref is distracted checking on them, Burchill uses his treasure chest to lay out Gunther, then hits Davy Jones's locker, which is a curve stomp, for the pin and the win. The go home show ends with British Invasion and Paul Burchill standing tall. So to the match itself, there's a segment before the match. Maxine asks Gunther about losing the 3-on-3 match. Gunther says Burchill had to resort to underhanded tactics to beat me. I am going to break Burchill in half and bring respect back to this company, and PWR will once again have a real world champion. So Gunther comes out with Imperium wearing white gear with black trim. He then sends Imperium to the back. Burchill comes out. He swings down from the platform above the ring wearing his pirate gear and holding the title. So to the spot. So the match starts with Gunther immediately hitting a jumping front drop kick, then a power bomb, and going for a quick pin to try and win it fast. Burchill just manages to kick out. Gunther then gets him into the corner and lands a series of thunderous chops. Gunther Irish whips Paul Burchill, then hits a big clothesline followed by a running elbow drop into a pin. Burchill again manages to kick out. He rolls to the outside. Gunther follows Burchill to the outside, puts him up against the barricade, and he chops him. He rolls in to break the count. He then puts him up against the ring post and goes for another chop, but Burchill avoids it, and Gunther hits his hand hard on the post. Burchill rolls into the ring and hits a suicide dive to the outside. He gets Gunther into the ring, stomps on his injured hand, then hits a standing shooting star press for a 2 count. Burchill hits a DDT and locks in a guillotine choke. Gunther manages to lift him up, then runs him into the corner. He manages to chop Burchill, but hurts his hand more in the process. The camera zooms in, and it appears that Gunther's hand is broken. Gunther locks in a Boston Crab, but because of the injury to his hand, he can't fully lock it in, and his grip is really compromised. And Burchill manages to break the hold. He hits a Twisted Sister followed by a rolling senton for a 2 count. He then hits a running knee and then a burning hammer. Gunther just manages to get his foot on the bottom rope. Burchill stalks Gunther and gets him in position for walk the plank, but Gunther manages to power Burchill into the corner, but the ref's in the way and he gets squashed. Gunther goes for another power bomb, but Burchill escapes, and then when Gunther turns around, he gets hit with walk the plank, and Burchill goes for the pin. but the ref is still down. Burcho realizes this and tries to wake him up, but the ref's still down. Gunther starts to stir, so Burcho tries to take advantage by grabbing the treasure chest to hit Gunther with. He tells the fans to be quiet as he lines up Gunther, but right before he can, Ludwig grabs his leg, allowing Gunther to hit a front drop kick. Gunther then tells Kaiser to grab the treasure chest, and Kaiser positions the treasure chest in the middle of the ring. Gunther power bombs Burcho into the treasure chest. Kaiser gets rid of the evidence, and Giovanni gets the ref to make the count for the 1, 2, 3. Your winner and new PWR World Champion, Gunther. Imperium celebrate as black and white confetti rains down.
There's two wolves inside of me deciding how I feel about this outcome. Because like one wolf is like, you know, Gunther's more real world champion material. He's more legitimate. He's better in ring. He's that man. But the other side of me says, I wanted that pirate motherfucker to hold it forever.
Yeah,
I was actually conflicted. Like, I'm like, these motherfuckers are gonna want me to keep the title on Paul Burcho, aren't they?
Also, your pirate voice kind of stuck when you kept trying to switch back over to Imperium, so that was kind of funny. Like you were piratey that whole feud. That's hard because I kind of wanted more Paul Burchill, but like I get why you put it on Gunther. It's a good choice. Can't go wrong with it.
There'll be more Paul Burcho in the future.
That's good at least. This was solid. Like the promos weren't like spectacular, but they weren't bad. The match would be fun. I'm gonna give this a 4.
Okay, I'll take it.
all right, I'm gonna be the opposite on this one.
He wanted Paul Burchill.
No, I didn't like it. I just didn't like it. But it wasn't egregiously bad where I was like, oh my god, this is awful. It wasn't Scarlett talking into a mirror bad, but this but it was like, I think this was like lower mid. This was Mike and whoever else does the 2.5 mid.
Okay.
So I went with the 2.5.
Travis Mid.
Yeah, Travis mid.
I'm mid. I could have cared less.
I knew you don't know who Paul Burchill was.
Yeah,
I even predicted this. I'm like, I can
I have
already
no
hear
idea.
Mike saying, I don't know who Paul Burchill
just
is.
sounded
He's literally
boring.
a pirate. Just think a pirate wrestler. That's
It
all
sounds-
it is.
He even comes down like
That sounds
He's
awful.
literally-
He stood on the SmackDown fist and swung down.
Is this?
He's
I
literally a
assume this is
pirate.
around the times of Pirates of the Caribbean, and Vince probably
Yeah.
saw it and was like, "Ah, goddamn,
Yeah.
we need a gay pirate."
He wasn't
for
gay, but
yeah.
and later on his gimmick switched to he might have been fucking his sister.
Yeah.
We need an incestuous pirate.
He wasn't a pirate anymore at that point.
He was
taking a different booty at that point.
Yeah, he was supposed to. His whole thing was that he's supposed to be like a god's grandson or something of Blackbeard. Was his whole thing.
awful.
Oh, it was lit.
It sounds awful.
It's a dumb gimmick, which is why I went with it.
All right. Do you want to know your scores?
Sure, if you have them calculated.
I have them ready.
Okay.
Actually, if you want to add real quick, I got the final score after that.
Okay.
And this is excluding Travis. We still got one more factor to
Yeah,
include.
that part.
I'm gonna play Organic Lovin'.
Your body and the bodies you're loving deserve nothing but the best. Organic Lovin' is the only adult subscription box that includes eco-friendly body products, from body-safe adult toys to sex-positive books and erotic seminars. Organic Lovin's online store has everything you and your partner or partners could ever need to heat things up. And right now, your friends at T13 Media want to take 10% off of your next order. Just go to organiclovin.com and use promo code T1, T-H-R-E-E, like the sound the bed makes, when you check out. Organic Lovin'. Love organically, purely, deeply, boldly.
You ready, bad guy, or you need more time?
No, I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay. So, John, your score was a 3.42.
Okay.
Respectable.
Mike, your score was a 3.17.
Okay.
And my score was a 3.03, making it without Travis's, I guess, influence. I guess it'd be a 3.21 at the moment. So we're waiting on Travis to give his, so we can see exactly where he's going to be
It's
at.
not bad.
Not bad.
That's
Not
solid.
bad for a first show.
Yeah, that's decent. Oh, I'm about to really fuck this up next week. I'm probably gonna average like a 1.4. Like I'm telling y'all,
I am
listeners, I wrote
not
some
excited for
bullshit.
I'm not gonna lie. This is one of the most fun ones I've written. So I have a witch, I had a pirate, I had Abraham Lincoln fighting vampires, I had fat people doing Spanish flies. This shit was fun to write.
I'll tell you what though,
I
need
drafted the Blowbot.
you need to talk to Mike and have all our Halloween special. Go crazy.
Oh,
these
it's a horror
characters,
match.
Yeah.
Have some crossover.
Yep.
I'll give you
Abraham
guys
Lincoln, the Doink Slayer.
I'm gonna, you know what, I'm gonna give you guys a spoiler. For next show, the main event is going to be Gunther versus Paul Burchill, in a buried treasure match.
Yes. Is he gonna dig in his
Main
ass?
event, though.
What?
The main event.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
for the world title.
It's for the world title. Gunther's the world champion. Paul Burchill got screwed. So it's
$5.
and he's got the.
Hey, that might be my $5.50 next time.
a buried treasure match.
All right.
I'll be thinking about that every time somebody does something goes like, but is that better than buried treasure match?
Let's
Damone,
go ahead.
Ready to spin?
In that wheel.
Come on, gotta
Spin the
spin.
wheel.
Spin that wheel.
Oh shit, I wasn't ready for that. Okay.
Watch I lose Paul Burchill right away.
Yeah, that'd be wild.
That'd be fucking wild.
Paul Burchill gets cancer.
So if you didn't listen to the last episode, I think we talked about it on. This is the wheel. We spin it, and it gives him basically changes the script up a little bit.
Something happens behind the scenes that
Yeah.
fucks with his show.
Or
So it could be good.
Or it could, yeah, it
It could be good. It could be bad. But two of his talent are getting fucked with.
2 or 3? So we're doing 3.
It could 3.
Three
We
spins.
do 3 spins, yeah. We only did 2 spins last week because technically we didn't have to do any. But I'm crazy and I said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna spin the
Crazy.
wheel." I'm crazy.
So we got 3 spins of the wheel. 3 people getting fucked with. What's Damone dealing with? Let's find out now.
Ugh.
Hey, Damone had 3 pirates in this story. Like, shut the fuck up.
Wait, why does it say?
Yeah, that was weird. Okay. There we go. Yeah, that was weird. It was like Adam.
Adam, I was like,
Who
I
the
don't
fuck
know.
is Adam? I was like,
Oh, I
is there-
think I-
what am
I
I
think I-
missing here?
I don't think I have an Adam on my show. So let's see.
Insensitive tweet.
Another insensitive tweet.
Jeez, your
Well, I
roster.
gotta take over my people's Twitter account.
This is why they're not allowed to have Twitch.
So 50 cents will be taken off from everybody. So whatever that score is for this person, 50 cents gonna be taken off from everybody.
Oh, do we include that for the Kota Ibushi segment?
I don't-
Or is
I
it
don't
just
think
for a
we did.
match?
Kalisto.
Kalisto.
So Kalisto tweeted something insensitive. Remember when Chris Jericho like blacklisted him for misspelling Brody Lee's name?
No.
Yeah, fuck Chris Jericho.
Yeah, Jericho's wild for that.
So Kalisto tweets out an insensitive tweet. All my international wrestlers are just insensitively tweeting.
It's the American way.
This person missed their flight, so they will not be able to.
Paul Burchill missed his boat.
So this person will not be on the next pay-per-view.
Okay, let's see who it is.
Io del Vikingo. You can say his name for a second.
Okay.
I feel like you
I can live
dodged
with
a bullet
that.
there.
I can live with that. I have plans for him, but I can delay him a little bit.
A major injury and they had to retire.
Oh fuck.
No, no.
Oh
Somebody
fuck.
Retiring. Who is retiring?
Who's coming off your list?
Giovanni Vinci.
Part of Imperium just gets
You're gonna have to get Alexander Wolf back, motherfucker.
He gets stabbed with the cutlass.
He's like, I quit. Fuck this.
No, he gets thrown overboard.
That's wild.
Yeah,
It's like
I just
Yeah, but he has to retire, not quit. Not
Not
quit.
die.
Not-
Yeah, he
yeah.
has to retire. So
Right.
we had one person retire, one person had an insensitive tweet, and another one had missed the flight for the next pay-per-view.
God damn.
Yeah, I got nothing but negatives.
All right. Yeah, you haven't got a positive yet, have you?
Nope, all of mine have been negative.
And look, if he had went to, what was it, 3? You wanted
Yeah,
to
if I
do?
went to 3 last week, it would have been real
You
bad.
would have lost 2 more people.
Because there's
Somebody
one that's
wrote
like a
extra
double
spin.
spin. There's one that makes you do 2 more spins, and that one fucking hurt.
All right. We're gonna go ahead and do plugs. Fudge, you got plugs.
Yes, if you want to catch some more hate and ass behavior, you can go to twitter.com, Lil X Fudge, where I'm hating on motherfuckers constantly and providing great insight to the wrestling world, defending MJF from these bum ass, fickle ass fans.
Bad guy.
You can catch me on social medias at Bad Guy Spoken. Check out the Bad Guy Spoken podcast on YouTube. Check out the Best Football podcast on YouTube with Unbiased and my new show, Hood Movie Review. Check that out as well on same channel, all same channel.
Damone.
I be tweeting and TikToking. I need to give Abe Lincoln a TikTok or his own TikTok or Twitter. In 2023. But you can follow me on Twitter and TikTok at dumbmoneyt13. That's DAMONEYT, the number 1, number 3.
You can find me on Twitter, hi-fi_Mike. You can. I don't tweet at anything, but you can still follow
Tweet
me.
at Abe Lincoln.
Yeah, I'm gonna tweet at. I sometimes tweet at Boy Meets World podcast. Specifically Boy Meets World Fever. That being said, you can find all the shows on the T13 Media Network on our website at t13media.com. Rate and review us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Golden Rules 5 or fuck off. That is Book It. See ya.
Bye.